Hi bestie, in this video, I'll show you how to get all the secret but totally free items because they're from codes. Plus, I've got loads of other exciting stuff to share. So make sure to watch till the end to stay up to date with all the latest news. Let's not wait any longer and dive right in. I'm sure many of you, like me, get annoyed when you hop into free play to farm cash. And even though you've done everything to make it easier, like buying all the game passes, the process still drags on. Why? Because you're not the only one on the server. There are tons of other players farming cash too. But I've got a solution for you. There's a secret spot on the map just for farming money. However, it'll disappear with the winter update, so you need to hurry. This location is getting more popular, so use it quickly before it gets crowded with other players, just like the main area. Let me show you how to find it right now. To start, if you're using the first method, you'll need to go all the way outside and climb up this tree. If you're good at parkour, jumping from the tree to the roof will be super easy for you. But honestly, I'm far from a pro, so if you're like me, I recommend boosting your speed to make it easier. The only downside to this method is that you'll need to buy a game pass, but luckily, it's one of the cheapest ones. For the second method, I'd recommend using the fourth pose from the fairy pack, but if you don't have it, the 28th pose works really well too. With this method, you'll first need to climb onto this arch and then use it to jump onto the roof since the roof is transparent. For me, this method is a bit harder, but it might be easier for some of you. It took me around 2 minutes to get it done. Next, you'll need to be super careful and walk along the edge to avoid falling off. Back to the hall. After walking a bit, just jump off to the left side and follow my exact moves. It's really easy to take a wrong turn and fall into the void. All you need to do is go under the map, head behind the mountain, and move straight toward the floating island. That's the secret location. Climbing onto the island is super easy, and don't worry about falling. There's a transparent floor to keep you safe. And here we are, right on the island. The cash isn't lying on the ground, but floating above it. But it's easy to grab by jumping. Honestly, I feel like the cash spawns here are way more frequent than in the main location. There's also a parkour course here that changes depending on the server. You can complete it if you want, but the cash at the end is placed too high above the island. To collect it, you'd need to do the parkour several times, so I'm not sure it's worth the effort. Personally, I prefer just walking around the island and picking up the cash. If you clicked on this video, you're probably here to see those secret items, right? Well, I'm about to show them to you. Trust me, only a handful of people have seen them because they're only available in free play, so I think you need to check them out. Just like in the first video where we went outside the map, you can use 2 methods to get onto the roof. I, as always, choose the tree method, then walk along the edge of the roof. It doesn't matter which side you pick, just make sure not to fall back into the main area since, as a reminder, the roof here is transparent. The most important part is to jump off the roof before reaching the last ceiling in the VIP room, as it's also transparent, so you don't fall inside. Once you've jumped off the roof of the main area, just walk straight ahead, and you'll notice some strange objects floating in the air. Those are the secret items. As you get closer, you'll notice these are hairstyles. And you might think, what's so special about that? But in reality, it's like a museum. These hairstyles are no longer in the game, they're old and long removed. If you use a pose where you crouch, you can even try some of them on. Is there anyone here who got to try them in the actual game? Personally, I only managed to see a few of them. I also want to share some new secret items with you that haven't been added to the game yet. Even though the developers don't reveal them, we can already spot some that might appear in the next update. Specifically, these are concepts created by players. You might think, but these are just fan-made ideas. Well, let me show you something. For example, this face doesn't look familiar. And now, see the resemblance? Here's another example. Nothing clicks. How about now? They even have the exact same placement of the snowflakes. The point is, the first photos are makeup designs created by players long before we saw the sneak peeks of the actual makeup that's coming to the game. So maybe the developers are inspired by player ideas. Who knows, some of these concepts might actually make it into the game. First up in the concept lineup is the stunning Victorian royalty set. Just look at that skirt. I can already imagine how perfectly it would fit themes related to historical eras. The main highlight of this set is that it can be split into two separate pieces. You can wear the corset and skirt individually. Here's how the corset would look on its own. It also comes with multiple toggles, each of which can be styled with or without gloves. My personal favorite is definitely the third top option. And the skirt, it's just as impressive. Here's how it looks full-o, and it also has a variety of toggles. Just imagine if this set makes it into the game. This skirt variation will be everyone's go-to for layering. I've already thought of at least 3 looks just from glancing at it once. This set also includes a hat, but I feel like it has some similarities to the one we got in the Halloween update. However, this one is more feminine and casual, while the one we currently have in the game leans more toward a pirate vibe. If this particular hat were added to the game, it could possibly have a toggle to remove the feather. Of course, clothing concepts are great, but I'm also sure that, as always, the game will bring us plenty of update-themed patterns. So let's take a look at what they might look like. Just look at this cuteness. My favorite is definitely this one with the gingerbread men. I'd love to use it for a cozy pajama look or a cute dress. Which one of these is your favorite? Let me know in the comments. The next concept we have is another set, called the Midnight Shadow set, and once again, the spotlight is on the skirt. Oh, how I wish they'd add it to the game, because, honestly, we have nothing even remotely like this, and it would look absolutely stunning. Just like the previous set, this one also comes with a variety of toggles. However, unlike before, it doesn't separate into two standalone pieces. Instead, you can toggle the set into individual components, which is still super convenient. Here are all the toggles. And by the way, there's something I didn't notice at first: these absolutely magical sleeves. It's surprising we don't have anything similar in the game because they genuinely look enchanting. Another cool feature is the option to wear just the skirt and sleeves. That's quite unique, as in the game, it's often the top that can be the weakest part of a dress. Honestly, I'd be over the moon if there were a toggle to transform a summer dress into just a skirt and sleeves. The creator of these concepts also suggests adding suspenders to the game. You might think this is a bit odd, but just wait until you see the toggles. Here they are. I'm definitely a #1 fan of this variation now. Oh my god, why don't we have something like this in the game? This looks more like a garter belt than traditional suspenders, and it would be amazing for layering or even as a standalone accessory. Let's just spam every chat to get this masterpiece added to the game. I want to pause again to show you a great idea for how flat feet could be added to the game. Because even if you have no shoes on, you still stand on your toes. And don't even get me started on when you decide to wear sneakers and socks together. Your foot will literally stick out through the sneakers. So I'm definitely a fan of this idea. The next idea is to add a hair claw to the game. I'm asking myself why, despite their popularity and the fact that everyone literally has one, there's still no hairstyle that includes a hair claw. I would be so happy to see a messy hairstyle with hair gathered in a claw. Or, you know, when only half of the hair is gathered in a claw. That would be super cute. It's almost certain that an advent calendar will be added to the game. The developers mentioned it on the official YouTube channel and in all their social media. Of course, it's a bit strange that it'll be added only on the 14th, but I hope the items we get from it will be worth the wait. And of course, the players have already jumped on it and created some concept ideas for how the advent calendar might look in the game. The first option is a gingerbread house advent calendar with compartments for each day. It looks super cute, and honestly, I can totally imagine how it would look in the game. So who knows, maybe we'll be getting prizes from the gingerbread house itself. The second option comes from Forver Sparks' channel. She has lots of concepts, so if you're interested, be sure to check her out. Here's an animated version of the concept with examples of the things we might receive. But I get the feeling we won't know what we'll get from the advent calendar, and everything will probably be blurred out like in similar advent calendars from other games. Royal High, honestly, I can't wait for the advent calendar to drop. It'd definitely be my favorite part of the update. How do you feel about advent calendars? Let me know in the comments. And let's return to the concepts that could potentially be added to the advent calendar. The same creator of these concepts also suggests adding a sweater to the game, but not one that you wear, but one that you would use as an accessory. Here's how it would look tied around your shoulders. It also has two other variations, showing it tied around the waist. Adding this item could make outfits feel more lively, giving them the camping vibe or like you're a scout at a summer camp. I'm also sure that more experienced models will use the sweater tied around the hips for layering. And I've mentioned the lack of belts in the game before, but what if this belt were oversized? This idea was brought to life by the same concept creator. Just look at how cool a long, hanging belt like this could look. I would definitely style it under a sporty theme like karate with a black belt. Such a creative idea. And I'm sure with its addition, there would be so many new styling ideas popping up. This is especially bad news for me, but I know that many were happy about it. I'm talking about the removal of dressing rooms in the game, which was announced on the official Twitter. For me, it's a downside because now, to wear something you bought or a coded item, you have to run to the other end of the map. Before, you didn't even need to move. You could change right on the runway. It saved a lot of time and made the process much easier. And the last concept for today that I just have to show you is this dress. It also has those beautiful sleeves we talked about earlier. And just look at the corset part on the bust. I'd really love to see something similar added to the game, because we don't have anything like this yet. This dress also has pearls adorning the corset and sleeves, which adds a lovely touch. Another thing that catches the eye is the two layers of the skirt. The first one is long and slightly fitted, while the second one reminds me of skirts from ancient eras, usually made from a sturdier material and coming out from the corset. And in this photo, you can really appreciate the detail, as we can see every fabric used for the dress. Dear developers of Dress to Impress, I'm begging you on my knees to hire this person with golden hands and bring this dress into the game. So, besties, that's all the news you absolutely have to know today. But as soon as new updates pop up, my channel will be the first place you'll see them. Thank you all for watching, and as always, let me know how much of this you already knew. Don't forget, if you liked it, leave comments, hit those likes, and subscribe. It means so much to me. Have a great day, everyone, and see you next time. Bye-bye.